Welcome to all Kampanankis. Today we have a very special guest, a multi-talented and a versatile personality, Mr. Vishwanath. Mr. Vishwanath is a certified counselor, sports psychology coach, career counselor, and a stress management therapist as well. As a psychological counselor, he has counseled common people on the issues relating to relationships, depression, addiction, self-confidence, anxiety, and many other disorders as well. As a career counselor, he has assisted many students and career professionals in choosing the right course and career path using the Dermatoglyphics Multiple Intelligence test. So we will know more about this as we talk to him. As a sports mental conditioning coach, he has counseled and trained many sports persons, helping them to improve their mental performance. Mr. Vishwanath is also an author. He has written a book called Success Mantra in Sports on the mental aspects of sports. He publishes articles regularly on the dailies as well. He is a WordPress blogger and a podcaster. He has about 130 podcasts to his credit till now. He is an entrepreneur consultant as well, and he owns a firm called Winning Edge Consulting, and you can see him on YouTube channel as well in the talk show called Winning Edge Talk Show. So let's welcome our guest, Mr. Vishwanath. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Murthy. I'm really glad to be here on the Kampananka talk show. Wonderful. Good evening once again.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah.
But we need to know, we need to learn more about you as to on different aspects of your contributions to this society. So we heard that you are a psychological counselor as well. What are the issues for which your clients approach you seeking the help? And do everyone need counseling in this, or how do you manage that?
A very good question, Mr. Murthy. In my career, though coming from the engineering background, right from childhood days, I was always curious about people, the relationships, the behaviors, why people are different, why they behave in different ways, why there are conflicts, why relationships are so important in society for everyone. Okay.
Right.
Why conflicts take place, and I was always curious about these things. I used to observe a lot. Then for a living, I took to the different engineering field. But this curiosity didn't go away. As I went along in my profession, I was in a very senior position in the public sector. But somehow I was always drawn to this, the psychology thing. So I did my online degree, and then psychology, counseling followed. I got myself some counseling certified for counseling psychology. Then, since I was a cricketer who represented my company and as well as my private club, I also took the interest. My son also played table tennis at the highest level, the national level. So I was always an outdoor person. What I did then, my quest continued. And I got myself certified into sports psychology and helping the athletes train on that mental side. And then the career counseling and the stress management things followed on its own. So nowadays, after my premature retirement, I came out from my service on voluntary retirement. Now I'm doing this thing as my main profession. Initially, it was a hobby. Now it's a profession. So now coming back to your question about psychological counseling, yes, the psychology is all about thoughts and feelings and emotions, and how well you get along with people. In this world, as I said in my initial introduction, that we find people with different characteristics and behaviors. So there is always a conflict, and anything that happens in your career affects the mind. Okay. Now, at least in India, it is still a taboo to get yourself counseled. See, anything that happens in your family, in your personal issues, in your career, and many others, your financial condition, everything ultimately affects the mind.
Right.
Now, yes, and sometimes it bothers you too much for you to not to be able to cope up by yourself. That is when you seek professional help. That is what counseling is about. But in India, it is still a taboo, is because we always lived in joint families. We always around people around us, and we could always reach out to the elders, some wise people. It can be anybody. We used to share our thoughts and feelings with whom we felt comfortable, with whom who listened to our issues, who gave a good hearing to our issues.
Right.
Then a lot of advice came in, and so the whole idea of counseling and mental health support is slowly catching up in this country. Nowadays, with this nucleus family and not so social environments, you and your family, these, where you can't express freely about your problems with others. Now, the need for counseling, the need to seek out professional help is on the rise.
Okay.
But it's not the case abroad. Psychiatry, counseling, mental health services are very, very popular. Okay. So now you ask me, does everyone needs counseling?
Right.
Yes, this debate has always been on. We say no, some are very mentally tough, some are mentally very weak, they break down quickly, they can't cope up with adversity, stress, and all those bunch of thoughts and feelings. But you'll be surprised to know that even the so-called tough ones cannot always have it their way. There is always a phase in their life when adversity strikes at them. They go through a very bad phase. That is when their mental strength is tested. Even sometimes it is so huge. The problem is so huge, like a huge mountain above them, that even the tough ones break down. Even the tough ones also will need counseling. And then again, the need. Please, you were asking.
And do you teach any strategies or techniques to improve their mental toughness or to deal with specific situations?
No, I'll come to that. Now, as I said, in general, everybody needs counseling at some point in their time or the other. And let me clarify on one important thing. The whole society thinks counseling is guidance, giving solutions, being unsolicited solutions, something that can be offered free without even people asking. The moment you share your thoughts, your issues and worries with anybody whom you trust, they will start giving you advice. They will not listen to you. But in reality, the person who is going through an issue wants to be heard, wants to be listened, not heard, wants to be listened. Somebody wants to give him a patient hearing. He doesn't need advice. And whatever the advice comes from the wise one, they already know about it. See, they want somebody to listen to their thoughts, their feelings, their issues. So that is another part. So counseling is not giving advice. So definitely, yes, we as counselors are not permitted to give treatment. So and in the next stage, if the person is his behavior is abnormal, right? He has anger issues, violence tendencies, too depressed, has eating disorders, gives up on eating, becomes too depressed, then we refer them to psychiatrists who gives them whatever the treatment is necessary. Then coming back to your question, psychology, counseling is a part of psychology. Now, it's all about the thoughts and feelings. First thing, as counselors, I told you, we give our clients more time than even the psychiatrists give them. So we have to spend time with them, give them patient listening, not hearing again, give them patient listening. When they pour out with their issues and when the catharsis happens, they feel very light. Okay, so we have to allow those issues to come out. Now, these strategies, initially we don't give any advice. When they are complete, it may take one session, 2, 3, 4. depending on how deep the issue is. Then after that, when they are through, we sit with them to explore what can be done about. We ask them, what have you done about it? What are the methods you've tried? What are the strategies? What are the different ways you try to cope up with the problem? Maybe if he has not tried a few things, we will suggest, can you try it? But the important thing to note here is that he should be able to cope up with what we suggest. That means he should be able to feel confident about trying it out, so it doesn't have an adverse effect on him. This is with regard to the mental strategies, and there are a lot of strategies we teach them, like the question you asked you. Then one is positive thinking. Looking at everything in a positive way, not expecting the negative to happen. We call it as negative self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think what you think happens, if you think negative, the same thing happens. First is the positive outlook towards life. Looking at the brighter side of things is what we teach them. We teach them positive self-talk, changing their negative thoughts and feelings instantly to the positive things. Then we teach them to write affirmations, like what positive thing needs to happen in their life. Because all the time they are perturbed by their negative thing, always thinking about what should not happen than what should happen. So writing affirmations helps them to be more positive. I don't want to get into affirmations, what are affirmations, how it help you, but affirmations are affirmations. Then the second thing is positive thinking, I told you. Then we teach them to be in the present, not to be, if you are in the past, the present is what is in your control. Past is history, future is mystery, present is a very big present. So we teach them mindfulness, how to be mindful. And the person who is going through psychological issues, whatever they may be, normally feels very stressed, because overthinking causes stress in you. Naturally, it's because of the stress response. I will not get into it now. Now, they need to relax their minds. When you are under stress, your body is also under stress because it is psychosomatic. So we teach them these relaxation techniques, how they can relax their mind and brain as well as their body. Those are the techniques called deep breathing techniques, pranayama. All these techniques help them for the instant relaxation. We teach them that. Then we teach them deeper relaxation techniques, visualization, imagery, and all those things. Then we also teach them meditation, which is a very important thing. At least till the period of time that they spend in meditation, at least for that period of time, they should be away from their thoughts. Meditation is a wonderful technique once again. Then we teach them those. And there are many other techniques, how to focus, how to bring your focus to what you are doing, which is once again mindfulness. So there are then visualization and imagery. See, now we are always focused on what we shouldn't happen to us. Now this person wants a change in life. We teach them how to visualize the new person, how he wants to see himself, how he wants to see positive changes in his life. He needs to visualize that. What you see in your mind is what happens in your life. So we teach them how to visualize. These are some of the techniques that comes to me. As and when it depends on person to person. Now our sports psychology is totally related to counseling psychology because so those techniques also we apply here. I think that answers your first question.
Part of it, But I was coming to that part as well. We always thought sports persons are very tough people physically and mentally. But I never knew that even those people need counseling and help in order to improve their mental performance. As a sports psychologist or a counselor, what are the most common problems with which the sports person come to you for help?
Sports persons are also individuals once again, and mind is common for all. They are also like us, very normal people. And they can also go through different issues related to the psychology, the psychological issues, if you put it. In different phases of their life. Many things can bother them. Many things other than their sport, other than their performance. It can be a relationship with his coach. It can be something to do with his facilities. It can be something to do with the problems that happen in the academy. peer pressure, insecurity, stress related to his education, and the insecurity coming out of thinking, I've chosen this as a career, sport as a career. What will happen to my future? Now, the stress about doing well in education also. Because if you don't do well in sports, at least you will have an education to back up upon. So now the need to do well in education is also there. So the financial issues, then the team selection and wanting to do well. If you didn't do well, or what will happen? Will I get selected or not? Then again, the negativity haunts them, the insecurity haunts them. Then once again, the injuries problem with injuries are there. Then they can also go through relationship issues, because they can get into relationship that can affect them. They can go into eating disorders. They can go into addictions, plenty of addictions. Then yes, they go through a lot of addictions, and loneliness. Then boredom. Always focus on doing only one thing. They don't enjoy life like the others do. You need to switch on and switch off in your life. You need to pamper yourself. You need to do other things that gives you a lot of pleasure, but they don't have the luxury of doing it. So this can add up to a lot of issues, and we are always there to support them. The initial support they get from us is the counseling part. Like we counsel generally others, we also attend to their feelings, how a particular issue at that point of time is affecting them. That is one part, the general counseling part. Then coming to performance, we teach them how to handle pressure is the biggest thing. Today, sport in India is professional. Children, unlike other older times, now they take sport as a career very early in their life. They make it their profession. When you make it a profession, how much stressful it is, and how much insecurity they realize in. Now, there's a lot of money in sports. More the money, and more the desire to have
pressure.
Yes, and it's becoming more and more commercial. So the need for the athletes to keep doing consistently well throughout the year is very large, and there are a lot of problems that goes with it. So there again, these problems are there. Pressure affects them. We teach them how to handle pressure. That is the very the core of sports psychology. Is the pressure coming out of expectations. Then the other part is your stress response. When you are negative, when you are under fear, the fear of failure, when you are anxious, nervous, panic, choking, are all symptoms of fear. And now what does this do? It causes stress in you, and this stress response kicks in. It affects the body also. The body doesn't move properly. You are lethargic on the court. You are heavy. You can't take decisions on the court or whatever. Now we teach them how to handle stress. Little bit of stress is useful stress. We have to teach them how that doesn't increase to affect them, so that they can't take charge of themselves. How that it will affect their performance. We teach them how to handle stress, keeping their arousal, anxiety at a certain level. Some little bit of it is good, in fact, very healthy. It is necessary, but too much of it is bad. So we teach them to be self-aware of it, about their thoughts and feelings, and how to handle their thoughts. Now, all the pressure, the stress, the nervousness here generates in the mind. It generates in the mind. Now we will teach them how to see that you don't get to the stage, how you keep your thoughts healthy and positive, hope and optimism, so that you don't get anxious all the time. Anxiety will come because of the largeness of the competition, the big competition. The bigger the event, the more the pressure, the more the stress. Now, how to treat that event? Your brain doesn't understand that is a very big event. It's your mind, the thinking mind, that is telling you this is Olympics, right? Now we teach them how to treat all the events as same. We bring their focus from the outcome and the event towards the process in the present, one ball at a time. So the process is important. When your process goes well, your outcome also comes well.
You focus on the journey.
Journey. Exactly. Then the most important, crucial part is there are mental strategies and exercises. One of the things I told you is self-talk. How changing your negative self-talk to positive. Then positive thinking definitely they need. That is what we teach them. We teach them how to write diaries. We teach them how to do journaling. We teach them how to write, how to use keywords, self-talk, and how to write affirmations, how to write, how to make goal setting, short-term goals, mid-term goals, long-term goals. Then, oh yes, everything you have to write down. That's very useful practice. Then we also teach them a lot of things about focusing, how to handle confidence when you're down, what you have to do, how to keep your sustain your motivation going, so that whatever happens in your career, whether you're low or you're high, the motivation should be kept afloat. Otherwise, you will lose interest in your game. Then these are another some. Then for them, the athletes, visualization imagery is very, very, very important. So what you foresee in the next coming up match or tournament is what normally happens.
Because that is also a way of. These are the practical techniques that you teach them.
Yeah, these are many others. So then of late, the mental health concern, you've been hearing a lot about top level athletes coming out with mental health concerns. So naturally, why earlier days, it was simply called as psychological issues or mental issues kind of thing. A new term has been coined now, mental health. So a fancy term. So what is simply because of being on the road all the time long, then the need to earn more money, there's professionals, insecurity, injuries, all the reasons I told you. If it bothers the mind, that means then your mental health is not of concern. Now, mental health is nothing but like your normal, regular health, the physical health, what you can call. So as you want to keep your body good without any illnesses, you also want to keep your mind healthy and going positively. So yes, these are some of the techniques. I've trained a lot of them, and yeah, that's it.
It was a true eye-opener, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You brought out a lot of aspects, a lot of perspectives that we all, as a common people, doesn't know what's happening. What's happening in the minds of high performers, top professionals.
Now just to add to that. Now even in corporate life, hospitals, they take the example of these peak performers, especially from sports.
Okay.
They are taken as a golden rule, the standard rule, what you call, there's another term for that, where those are taken as a shining examples for other corporate people, hospital people who work in under stressful environments, to tell them how to emulate what the peak top level elite athletes do, how they handle pressure and all that. So sports psychology is at the core of performance psychology. It's the tools of sports psychology used in different other fields.
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, and one quick question, just for the benefit of our listeners, Kampanankis. Okay. A quick high-pitch introduction into what do we mean by this dermatoglyphic?
Small introduction before that. Okay. Now career counseling. Why career counseling? Now there's a very big topic, I must say. We don't have too much time for that. Now, to know the aptitude of a youngster, a student or a young professional, I think from the past 100 years or more than that, we used to use the psychometric testing. I think the Bricks and Mears and all, you know that. They're very popular. They have got their own limitations also. Now, India is very famous for astronomy, palmistry and all that.
Right.
Where Indian astrologers, palmists, whom we call, used to do a lot of reading about the person using the palm lines in the palm.
Right.
Chinese used to understand about the person from the fingertips.
Okay.
We know it as Shankha and Chakra.
Right.
There is more to it. Triad, loop, course, lot more to it.
Okay.
So the Western scientists grew interested in this. What is in the tip of the finger? Okay, what is in the fingertips? The Western scientists grew interested about this. After 120 long years of research, now we are able to practically scan our fingertips and generate a 70-page report, which talks about you. It talks about you. Dharma is skin, Dermatoglyphic is understanding from your skin pattern. So a small introduction to how it works. Yes, each finger is linked to the 10 lobes in the brain. We have 10 lobes. Each lobe has a function.
Okay.
I think let's not say too much about it because it will confuse the audience. So each finger is linked to each lobe. We can't cut open the brain and understand what is the pattern, neuronal pattern in the brain. It cannot happen. The person will die. So instead, what we do is we understand from the pattern in the fingertips to understand what each lobe is.
Okay.
Which lobe, all the functions we do in our life, the 8 multiple intelligence each person has at different gradings, maybe at different levels, but we are all of us have 8 type of intelligences, right? Not one, not just the IQ. So 8, your brain lobes talks about the 8 multiple intelligence you have in your life, in your brain. Okay, that denotes and signifies all the things you do in life. Everything you do in life is connected to at least one of the 8 lobes. Okay, 10 lobes definitely. So now, when we study the fingertip patterns, we understand the 10 lobes and we are able to generate a report. That report talks about you. It's like a mirror. It talks about your multiple intelligence. It talks about your strengths and weaknesses. It talks about your characteristics, and etc. etc. And it also talks about how you can improve on your weaknesses, their strengths and their weaknesses. How you can. You already know, all corporate people know about SWOT analysis. It also talks about a SWOT analysis per person. Okay. It also talks about all that, and there are also suggestions given on how you can improve on the weaker areas. You know that our brain is neuroplastic. It keeps growing beyond 80 years if you keep using it. So even your low areas, when you try out certain strategies and techniques, you can improve your low areas also. Okay. So this is in short. So now why we are using DMIT? There was a limitations with psychometric testing. DMIT is wide. It gives us a wider knowledge about the person. So now why we need to do that? Now, at least in Bangalore, everybody wants to take up engineering. It's very wrong. Okay, for different reasons. Each person is born to do a certain thing. According to his strength. Everybody can do everything, but they may not be your strengths. You should do what is your strength. A fish is known to swim. Fish is born to swim. It's better if the fish does swimming than climbing a tree. Right? It's how it works. No. What you have to follow? What is your strengths? Okay. What you are made up of? What is your inborn intelligence? Why you came to this world with what? So when you do that, you learn things passionately. You love to learn things because it suits you. Then you start getting success slowly. When success comes, you are happy. Now you are somebody at the end of your master's or somebody. Then you will end up in the right job. Again, that job, it fits your domain, it fits your intelligence, fits your innate nature. So again, it's a true smooth passage. But if you do things that is not made for you, if you are in a square peg in a round hole, then throughout your life you'll struggle. You will not be happy. You are always under stress. Now, this report shows the career path for any young, aspiring, career-oriented person. This is DMIT in short.
Very, very useful information, sir.
Thank you very much.
And there's a lot of stress these days. And you see, there's a lot of emotional things that happen to any human beings than the earlier times. And you're also a stress management therapist as well, right?
Yes.
Who are the people who come to you and what kind of help you provide? How do you assist them in dealing with this? Maybe minor, maybe major. How do you help them?
Yes.
This has become more relevant than ever before.
Who doesn't have stress in this world? Now, UNO said long ago that the problems with the 21st century is going to be something to do with stress.
Okay.
The problem with the 21st century is stress itself. Okay. Now, once again, I told you about the stress everybody goes through. right from the LKG days, when the child starts taking up different subjects, when exams are given to the children, right from those days the stress starts. Everyone has some kind of stress. Student stress, homemaker stress, housewife stress. Everybody has a stress. Corporate stress and athlete stress. Everybody is going through stress these days. And this word stress comes from distress. That means a person is some form of a distress, going through some distress mentally. Okay, so it's all about distress. Once again, let us take the corporate stress as an example. Today in the corporate world, they are facing a lot of challenges, huge demands, the what you call the targets, then able to get a good project, then fear of getting benched, fear of the reports what your boss writes for you, fear of all these fears corporate people go through. Fear of being terminated, monetary increments, pink slips, rat race, lot of things. So definitely corporate, normally how the corporate people are able to beat stress. Do you know how their lifestyle changes to beat stress? What are the things they do? The unhealthy ways of dealing with stress. Okay. It comes with its own negative connotation. It comes with its own negative effects. You know that very well as a corporate person yourself. So that is not healthy actually. Right. But your stress in corporate life happens from morning to the moment you punch out and come out of your thing and you come back home. Till that time your stress will be there for different reasons. Now, here we teach them. First is to manage their thoughts, and again the techniques like deep breathing. Okay. Not making them to sit in one place. Stretching every half an hour. Mm-hmm. Taking deep breaths every 15 minutes. Okay. Going out. If he's a person who wants to keep moving about, who loves nature, who wants to have fresh air, ask them to go out for 15 minutes, but not to smoke a cigarette. At least to take some fresh air. If he wants to take a cigarette, there is no harm. So just off the record. Now, these are some of the ways where, once again, here the challenges about their self-confidence. So many people may not have the self-confidence to face the situations. Maybe he's little too weak, little too brittle in the mind. Maybe he's afraid to take challenges. He can't take challenges. Take the pressure imposed by the work pressure. We teach them to deal with these things. Okay. Then a lot of fears, the remarks, the criticism that comes from the higher ups, the negative criticism that come, all these things affect them. It's very important for the corporate people, whoever it is, to cope up with the stress. The more they internalize the stress becomes psychosomatic, and the body also suffers. They get into lifestyle diseases, irreversible diseases. Okay. It affects their overall health. Okay. So that's very important to deal with their stress. Otherwise, they will have to pay a heavy price for it. All right. So this is what I want to say about stress management. Yeah. Thank you, sir. It's better to seek professional. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you very useful information. And for any final thoughts to all our Kampanankis, for our listeners, on the overall aspects of stress management, career, or psychological assistance, or related to the sports, aspiring sport, may not be at the professional level, but in their day-to-day lives.
Yeah. So if you put all these 4 categories into one basket, the one thing that is common for all these categories is the mind. Okay. Brain is a hardware, mind is a software. Brain is just an organ. It's your mind that is dangerous. Like Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, you can use it as a friend, or your worst enemy. So I would always advise people to be healthy with their thoughts, deal with their emotions and stress, then be positive, take care of their mind. Make your mind your friend, not your enemy. Don't be afraid of your mind. Okay. So mind your mind always. Keep your mind healthy, keep your thoughts healthy, and always make sure that your mind doesn't affect you mentally with your thinking process as well as your body when it comes to psychosomatic illnesses. So think healthy and don't hesitate don't bottle up with your feelings and emotions. Please try to express it from time to time. This is what I want to say. All of these categories come into thing. And of course, the career counseling is a little odd man out, but remaining 3 categories, it's all about dealing with your mind. And if you want to be happy and content in your life, your mind is very responsible for it. Yes.
Very, very useful discussion, very, very valid and relevant to the current scheme of things in this world. And thanks for sharing your learnings.
Thank you. Most welcome. Yes.
And thanks for your time as well, sir.
You're most welcome.
Valuable
I
time.
hope the Kampanankis,
And we all hope that listeners will find it very useful. And continue, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
No. I just wanted to wish our listeners and viewers so that they can be happy and content in their lives. So lead a joyous life, and for that they need to follow these things, not to be bottled up, not to think that. See, there's one last bottom line. People think that their behavior and their nature, what we call is nature, it cannot be changed. There's something, an innate personality is always there, but it is not fixed like stone inside you. If in your nature there is something that is not helping you, you can always change the way you think. You can always change your behaviors, and you can always see to it that it becomes your friend. It helps you along. No, you would never think that my nature is fixed. I can't change it. You can change it. You can change it. Like you can build muscles, you can also build your mental muscle.
Right.
It can always be changed. Never think that it's permanent. Never think that, it is my nature, I can't change it. This is my message I want to give them. At any point of time in their life, they can change the way they think. They can change their behaviors. They can change their life habits, thinking habits. I think I should end with that.
Learning is never ending, and we have learned things from you. Thank you very much.
True. Thank you
for your knowledge, and thanks for your time. Thank you very
much. Most welcome. I enjoyed talking to you, Mr. Vettel.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.